short for Pocket Monsters. It is a Japanese video game which invaded the U.S. last year, quickly becoming a popular cartoon series. Now kids are going just wild over this Pokemon and the stuffed animals and collectibles and Pokemon trading cards. So why is Pokemon so popular? Joining us now to talk about all of this is David Duke. Not that David Duke. This is the editor of a magazine called Collector Editions. David, thank you for coming.
Hi, my pleasure.
This started, you said, as a video game, right?
It was a video game from Nintendo and Pocket Monster Pokemon about 3 years ago. And last year, it was brought to television in the United States as an animated series on Saturday mornings. And with that comes all of the merchandise, as you know. And with that came this game, these trading cards. Now, in the last report, the mother said these are collector's items. Now, it's interesting to me, the kids are playing with these. I'm wondering how many parents are buying these at $6, $8 a pop and shoving them in the drawer, or putting them in the plastic cases to send their kids to college in 20 years.
Well, they don't really think that they will be.
Well, I believe that woman believes that that's the truth.
Here's a newsflash. These things do come and go, right? I mean...
That's right. And who knows how far this is going to go. They may have reached critical mass with this
Do you
release
think this
of this
is overdone?
film. Well, I think it's hitting that point. I think it's hitting that point where it's so saturated. See, what happens when it's something exciting and new to a kid, when the world gets it, and we start doing reports on the news, they lose interest because it's not theirs
Oh my God,
anymore.
adults are into it.
That's right, and that's kind of the appeal, I think, is that Pokemon, especially this game that no one understands how it's played, except for the kids.
That's another thing you mentioned during the break, which is interesting. This is a kid-driven phenomenon, unlike Cabbage Patch Kids, which had adults going along, and that had certainly legs for a number of years. This seems to be just the kids. They're the ones in on it. The parents are kind of clueless.
Well, I think it's analogous to when rock and roll first came out. I think kids have grabbed this and said, this is ours. Our parents don't have anything to do with this. They're not really interested in the Nintendo game, the video game. They certainly don't know how to play this card game.
Now, this is from the movie that we're showing in the background, right? And I gotta wonder. I mean, this reminds me when I was a kid of the old Speed Racer.
It's anime.
It's Japanese
animation. It's limited edition animation.
I heard one reviewer called it cumbersome and insipid.
But not to the kids. See, that's important. And this film isn't made for critics or parents. It's made for the kids who are into this. And so you should respect it on that level.
Absolutely.
But it probably is insipid.
Well, that's not taking anything away. I mean, a lot of adults don't get this.
Sure.
But let me ask you where this all goes. We have high expectations for this movie. I mean, judging its gross is going to be tough because a lot of these are matinee-type pricing, so you really don't get a true dollar sense, and kids go in at a lower price. But it's going to be big, isn't it?
It's probably going to be huge.
Right.
When you think that these cards alone, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there are Pokemon videos, there are Pokemon stickers, there are Pokemon sticker books, there are Pokemon keychains. I bought this stuff just walking from my apartment to get in the car to come down here today.
You can get this free, can't you? You're like a biggie in this.
No. You see, the point is these things all cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
can you see them being the big collector's item? People are saying they will be.
Well, I don't know what they'll be.
Kids are fighting at schoolyards for this.
Exactly, but you know what is happening is that they're actually using them and they're playing with them and they're destroying them and they're mangling them and they're using them the way they were meant to be used, and they're not putting them in plastic sleeves and sticking them away. That's why I'm curious about the parents who are doing that.
Wow.
But this may have reached its point. This may be it. You never know. You just don't know. After the weekend, I'll be curious to see the tallies, the box office tallies over the weekend.
All right, as will I. David, thank you so much for coming by. David Duke is editor of Collector Editions on the Pokemon phenomenon.